And it's two
Something we've taken
perspectives.
care. Yeah. Yeah, two perspectives, but vision aligned together.
Yeah. So we're
Because I
gonna
believe in- yeah.
let's basically start by talking about each of us and what is money to each of us. Like your perspective and my perspective, because
yeah.
it can vary from people to people based on your upbringing, what kind of quality of life you've lived. So you start off and give me your perspective of money. What has that meant to you? How did you start your journey in this?
Deep question in the first one. What's money? Money just that's like paper, right? It's about what emotion is attached for me to money. So money actually means something that I can use to have a good life, right? So I'm not thinking of it as I have less, something that I have always. So more into an emotion that I'm connected with money, and it's just paper. Like every currency bill is paper. I consider everything as a source piece of money, like such as like real estate or whatever like thing that I can use to get something. It's just money for me.
Okay.
What about you?
See, from my side, I learned to realize that money is a materialistic thing, and the only thing attached to money is my time. So that means in reality, my time is more valuable than anything. So I started to calculate, if I make X amount of money in a month, how many hours of work is that equivalent to? That means I have to give 4 hours, like I have to give 4 weeks of my month, 5 days a week, to an office to make a certain number of dollars. So then I started getting into, okay, fine, why am I working so hard for money? Like, what am I going to use it for? And like you said, quality of life. So if you, the way the world is right now, if you want to have a good quality life, you need to be able to spend money to get that. Now, again, this is all perspectives, because there are people who don't really care about materialistic things. They're happy with the most simplistic things in life. And this is like myself. I'm not saying that without the most extreme things, I won't be happy. But I understand that the whole thing is a game, and I'm never going to stress about making money. Like, if I want to make money to buy something, to buy a good car, buy a good watch, buy something, I know the path and I'm not going to stress about it. I'll put myself through the hardship because I know what the route is going to be. So in this whole situation, the first thing I understand is, if I'm going to be working a day job to make money, how valuable is that going to be to me? And then I came across a lot of people who are making like 30, 40, $50,000 a month. And this is on the lower end. Then when you come across a table where you meet people who make $1 million a month, how do they speak? How are they making $1 million a month when you're making a significantly less amount? So that's what got me thinking. We both have 24 hours. If we both have 24 hours, there is something he's doing different than what I'm doing. So that's when I started getting into the whole process. How is money work? Now I'll tell you where everything changed for me. We spend our time working for money, and then I found out that you have to go into history to understand why is money so valuable. It's because in the past, when barter system was a thing, people used to exchange goods. Like, if I want a bottle of water from you, I'll give you a bag of rice. But then it became unequal because I can't keep giving you 100, 200 bags of rice. Then they started with the concept of coins, gold coins, copper coins, silver coins, where we used to trade it amongst each other. It's easier to make. But then it became a problem when there was a shortage of it, and it was very privatized. By privatized, I mean I could go find some copper and silver, smash it into a size of a coin, and come and trade it with you. And the only value on that coin is based on what you and me have decided. So with all of this in mind, the central bank started in 1912, and in 1912 they decided to centralize all money. So what they say is, you are able to print X amount of money, X amount of dollar bills based on the amount of gold that you have in your vault. So the US, let's say they have $100 million worth of gold. They are only allowed to print $100 million worth of cash. And this went on all the way up till 1973, where all the countries in the world were printing money based on this. And then in 1973, when President Nixon removed the dollar from the gold standard, that's when everything went haywire. Because now it basically states that a central bank can print money whenever they want without even knowing how much of supply of gold is there with them. They don't need to keep a count of how many gold bars are there. And this to me makes no sense, because right now I am giving my time for money that another guy on the other side of the world is just sitting and pressing a button and printing it. So it doesn't make any sense to me. This is where in 2008 and 9, when the recession happened, what actually happened then is the US government was constantly borrowing money from the Fed, because the Fed is the one that decides what the interest rates are. The central bank is the one that prints the money. So if the central bank prints $100,000, someone has to borrow $100,000 from the central bank for that money to be circulated. Like, you remember when we started off talking about everything a couple of months ago, discussing how does money move, we came across this term called money flow, the flow of money. Money should never stop at a certain place. It all starts from the central bank, moves down to a business owner who takes a loan from the bank. Let's say the bank gives him 100,000 and tells him, give me 110,000 back with my interest. So this guy takes the 100,000, goes, starts a company, hires people, pays people salaries. The money flows that way. Buys goods and services, money flows that way. So you create money flows. When you understand how the flow of money is, all you have to do as a person is position yourself within that. Think of it as a river. And if you want to drink from the river, you don't have to necessarily go to the end of the river. You could go to the middle of the river and decide to drink from there. Then you can also be smart and decide to collect water from there and distribute it to certain people. So the only concept here is you being positioned in the right place. And when you're positioned, you just let water flow and you get access to that. This is how deals work. This is how people close million, $billion deals. Like you close a deal with such a high value that all you have to do as a person is put a percentage over there. Now, this all is just to explain what money flow is. But now in 2008, when the recession happened, a significant person called Satoshi Nakamoto, nobody knows who he is. Some people say he's Elon Musk, some people say he's other people, but I don't know. From my perspective, I have not come up with a decision yet. This guy started something known as Bitcoin. And basically what Bitcoin is, everyone just thinks that it's a software, this, that, but in reality, what Bitcoin is, it's a software that is installed on your computer that basically mines a coin for every transaction done on a Bitcoin network. Look at it from this angle. If you have right now Google Chrome, Safari, and Microsoft Edge. These are three web browsers that are owned by three companies: Apple, Microsoft, and Google. So every transaction done on any of these browsers is all stored on one database. That's what we call a ledger. In accounting terms, people call it a ledger. Okay. Now, when every transaction is stored on this ledger, these three companies own their own ledger. So that means they can see every transaction that is going on across whoever is using Google Chrome. So what Satoshi did is he started something known as a Bitcoin network that basically creates an ecosystem where people can trade using Bitcoins. And the benefit is the ledger is public. So every Bitcoin that goes from one wallet to another wallet gets recorded as a transaction in this ledger, and it's public knowledge. Now, the benefit of this, the thing is, all of this doesn't make a lot of sense to people, but let me dumb it down and explain that where can you use this for extra safety. Now, the US government, okay? When the central bank prints money, all of that goes to business owners, goes to people who come to borrow, then money goes from here to there. If everything was on the blockchain, which is what Robert Kennedy Jr. is trying to do now, he said the entire US financial system needs to be on the blockchain, because each and every person in the US can see where each and every dollar is being spent. So when people are paying their taxes back, when people are paying their taxes, 20-30% taxes, you need to understand where is your tax money going. Is your tax money going towards making the country better, or is your tax money going towards helping another country fund a war or helping another country do something? But if everything is on the blockchain, because it's public knowledge, you are able to see where money is gone from which wallet to another. This is why you cannot fool people. Right now, with the current situation of the world, is they can keep printing money because it has zero value. I heard one guy say this on a podcast where he was like, the cheapest, like you agree that every single item around us is valued based on the dollar. That is any asset, real estate, gold, Bitcoin, everything is valued against the dollar. And he said if you want to get the cheapest form of currency, the bank can give it to you because the bank can come and give you dollars. The bank loans you dollars, which is the cheapest form of currency. You can take the cheapest form of currency, which is dollars from the bank, go and put that into a mutual fund. Like the one thing I posted on the story today, what people need to understand. You have $100,000 today. Today, $100,000 will be worth $85,000 next year in purchasing power. It will not actually lose 15,000, but the price of goods and services will go up in value, and the value of your dollar goes down because they keep printing money. Now, with this in mind, you need to just find a way. How do I beat 15%? So that's when people go out searching for different avenues. They look at investments such as an investment portfolio like mutual funds. What is mutual funds? Mutual funds is basically a fund where someone decides what kind of companies do we put into this fund to invest money into them, buy their stocks. So that, let's say we take a fund for AI. We put a couple of companies over there. We put Nvidia, we put Tesla, we put, these are the only two that come at the top of my head, but let's say we put 5 companies and we invest like $1,000 in there. The weighted average of growth and decline will be what money you make on your $1,000, which is a good safe basket of assets. Like it's safe because these companies are stable, they're cash flowing and everything. When I looked into this entire system, I was like, okay, fine. Investments are good, mutual funds are good. But at the end of the day, all of this works as trading. And trading is buying and selling. So the value of something, like for example, this clock. If I had to sell you this clock, how much would you pay for it?
Like $20?
$20. Now, if somebody else comes and hears that, oh, you were willing to offer $20 for it, and I try to sell it to him for $50, he would say, why would I sell it for $50 when the last person was willing to pay $20? This is how the entire stock market works. The stock market works on how much someone is willing to pay for a company, and that's how the price is determined. When you see this red and green candlesticks, all it means, these candlesticks show us there are more sellers than buyers. If a candlestick is red, there are more sellers during that time period. If the candlestick is green, there's more buyers. So when I understood, okay, trading, it's a psychology. It works on people's minds. And now because it works on people's minds, they have hardwired us to believe that there are cycles. But then I got into in depth and I was like, if I want to learn this properly, I need to listen to people who know this properly speak. So I listened to this guy called Raoul Pal. He has his own company called The Real Vision. They have done a study which understands in what direction the world is moving, what is going to be the best possible investments 10 years from now, 5 to 10 years from now. And hearing this is what I understood, that the only thing that matters in this world is liquidity. Liquidity is cash. Like when the bank prints money, we need to understand where is that portion of money going to. So that's when we started understanding, okay, fine, the biggest industry at last year when I got into crypto, like heavily, that's when I understood a lot of money is going to start moving to Bitcoin, because you have BlackRock. BlackRock is the biggest, if not the biggest, one of the biggest companies in the world. BlackRock, Vanguard, and Slate Street. You can go and check this information right now. If you go on Yahoo Finance, okay, you can go and type in any publicly listed company in the US and go and check who are the top 3 shareholders over there. It'll be BlackRock, Vanguard, and Slate Street. That means these 3 people, these 3 companies own the world. They own majority of America, 110% they own majority of the world as well. And what I'm saying is not like delusional stuff, it's actual facts because I check all of this. Then you go and find out two of the biggest prisons in the US. Who's the majority shareholders in that? BlackRock, Vanguard. So that it got me thinking, okay, fine. These guys own everything. What do they not own? They don't own Bitcoin. This is back in 2023. They didn't have access to Bitcoin. Because for someone to buy Bitcoin, you have to go on Binance, you have to go on these exchanges, create a wallet. A guy who's managing $1 trillion worth of assets is not going to make a 2-factor authorization on his phone. So when the news came out in June 2023 that BlackRock has filed for an ETF, a Bitcoin ETF, basically what that is if I'm BlackRock, I have clients that I manage wealth funds for. And my clients have come and told me, hey Anush, we've seen people invest in Bitcoin and make a lot of money. How do we get exposure to this? So now BlackRock is like, okay, fine. The easiest way for us to do this is we will create a fund called IBIT, IBIT. And that will be a fund that is listed on the stock exchange. People can go and buy the fund. So from my clients, I have a client that wants to put $1 billion worth of money into Bitcoin. He'll give me the $1 billion. I will charge him a management fee. I will take that $1 billion. I will go to Coinbase, because Coinbase is a US based exchange. I'll go to Coinbase and directly buy Bitcoin from the exchange. So this is how I started to realize, okay, fine, I'm early, because in June 2023, when they announced that they're going to be doing this, I knew there's going to be shitload of money coming into the market. That's when I understood liquidity. Okay, we understood liquidity, we understood money flow. So then in October, that's when I went all in on Bitcoin and all other crypto assets. And when that happened, during that time, Bitcoin was ranging at about $15,000 to $18,000, but I got in when it was like $30,000. And then by January, when the ETF got approved, 30 days after the ETF got approved, the markets just started flying. So you can imagine 1 year ago, when Bitcoin was $15,000 to $18,000, versus this year, March, when Bitcoin touched $74,000. That is what? 5x? 5x. You find me any other company or any other asset. You tell me real estate, gold, fixed deposits, mutual funds. Find me anything that has given a return of 500% in the past 1 year. There's no asset like that. And this is just the start, because when you look at investing across the board, investing means you're putting your money somewhere for it to grow in terms of purchasing power. Now, in this case, you have to compare Bitcoin to gold. Okay. Now, when you compare Bitcoin to gold, because everyone calls Bitcoin digital gold. Now, what is gold? Gold is, there are so many things that we've learned back and forth from each other about gold. When we talk about gold, number one, what's the source? It's mined. It's a mineral on this planet that's mined, taken, then we mold it, we use it into jewelry. People bestow value on gold. It doesn't actually have value, but people are the ones that give value to it. Okay, she's wearing a beautiful gold necklace. She has gold furniture in the house, gold plated car. These all drives up the demand of gold, which makes people want to buy it more. And because there is limited supply of gold, the price keeps going up. But now my question is, to calculate price of a product, you need to know the amount of supply and what was the last traded price. How do you know what is the supply of gold? Is it because the US is telling us? Is it because China is telling us? We have to just listen to what they say and work on the price what they give. But we can't actually see for ourselves what is the price of gold. And this is what bothers me, because I'm like, if I'm investing my money in a certain place, I need to know from head to toe what is happening to my money. What's the supply over there? What if tomorrow in the backyard, I can go and dig a hole and I find gold there? That means I got dollars for free. So what if people around the world are doing that? Then I started understanding, okay, now let's compare that to Bitcoin. In Bitcoin, when it was created, the creator of Bitcoin has decided that there are only 21 million coins. If there are only 21 million coins, there will never be more than this. And it is mathematically programmed in such a way that whenever a transaction is done on the Bitcoin network, let me explain to you exactly how they blasted this entire network up. When they understood you can move money from one person to the other in Bitcoin, they realized to grow this ecosystem, you need to have a use case for it. People need to keep doing transactions in Bitcoin. So what they started using it for is moving money from countries to countries. Then they came up with something called as a dark web. The dark web was always there, but transactions on the dark web were on crypto. You used to buy and sell whatever is available on the dark web with Bitcoin. So let's say I buy something from you in Bitcoin. When I make a transaction, when I send you the Bitcoin, someone has to verify the transaction. Compare it to a bank. If I have to send you $100,000 today from Emirates NBD to your Emirates NBD, someone at the bank has to verify that transaction. Now it's an all automated system, so it just goes out. But in Bitcoin, the person who verifies the transaction for you and me is known as a Bitcoin miner. It's a device that maybe person A has just kept it in their house to run the software. When I make a transaction to you, if that guy's software successfully verifies my transaction, because it's all a mathematical algorithm, it solves a mathematical algorithm to verify that Anush has transferred X amount of Bitcoin to Fadil, and that verification comes up with a transaction ID. All of that goes into the Bitcoin ledger, which is public information. So with all of this in mind, in my mind, it was like, okay, fine, this seems like the most stable ecosystem because everyone can know what everyone is doing. People have gone and done research to identify people's wallets. They've identified the US government's wallet. They've identified the German government wallet. So when it came to all of this, understanding supply and demand, I realized, okay, fine. What is the richest people in the world doing? Because I started speaking to a lot of people, and there are two kinds of people that I spoke to. One set of people who told me Bitcoin's a scam, and I asked them, what are you guys doing in terms of investments? And they said nothing. We just keep money in the bank. We have fixed deposits. Then I started listening to some extremely wealthy people, researching online. When you have a guy like Michael Saylor, who put in $4 billion worth of his wealth into Bitcoin, you have BlackRock that owns the majority percentage of Bitcoin. Who would I follow? Like, there's this saying, like, do you follow someone who you don't want to be like him, or do you follow someone who's giving you legitimate advice because they've done something good? So I was like, okay, I follow these guys. I understand the concept. I understand the ecosystem. Because when you look at anything like the stock market or whatever, the US stock market is limited to the US only. But Bitcoin is the first asset that has ever been invented. It's a piece of technology that was invented where the entire world can trade. Where it's not just companies, it's people like you and me. We don't have to make a bank account to trade that. You can make Bitcoin, you can buy Bitcoin in the easiest format. You can do it through a regulated exchange or a decentralized exchange. It's so easy. And if you want to buy Bitcoin right now, what you should do is open a Binance account wherever you are in the world. But use Binance only as a place to buy the Bitcoin and then buy a Ledger wallet. A Ledger wallet is a USB stick where you can store your Bitcoin on it and it's safe with you. That means no one has access to it. So when it came to all of this, it just struck me like, okay, fine, this seems like the best investment advice. I'm going to get into Bitcoin because I understand economics and how does this work. And then I started speaking to you about it because then we started discussing, okay, what do we do? How would people react to this? What do people say? And when you look at the best investment now with whatever I've told you, what is in your mind? How do you feel about this? Because you've been someone who's always been against Bitcoin, against crypto, not against, but you didn't fully understand the concept of it. Yeah. But then when you put it into perspective and compare Bitcoin versus the US dollar, and you're like, dude, why the hell am I working my ass off for something that they're just printing every single day?
Right. That's what I was skeptical about it, right? When we started off. So once you gave me the idea that what Bitcoin actually is and that all it took me was a 12% depreciation over the dollar bill.
Yeah.
Finished. I was like, you know what? This is the shit. Because you were showing me how you were making money on a daily basis. Like 15% was at least. Cool. So now everyone says the dip is there, that's there. But you still made money that day so that it opens another portal for the next event or next investment that you can put. Because you'll constantly be investing into whatever ways to make money, right? My question is gold, right? Like you mentioned something over there in gold because I'm interested in gold. I like the idea of gold. You told it's human psychology, but also you mentioned initially that the dollar bill was attached to the gold. So gold still has its value, right? In the stock market, whatever it is. So it's not attached to anything?
It's not. Gold is attached to the value of the dollar. And the problem over here is that because people can keep printing money, you can keep, like, I'll give you the best life hack right now that you could do.
Yeah.
Go and take a loan from the bank of 200,000 dirhams. Take the entire 200,000 and put it in gold. And just see, in the next 4 years, you're going to be paying your loan back on a monthly basis for the next 4 years. At the end of 4 years, you just see what's going to be the value of your 200,000. I'm not saying, like, this is not financial advice, but I'm saying go and read the past data. Go and look at what was gold's price 4 years ago. And if you took a loan for that amount and you put in gold, where would it be? And I'm not saying people should just go and dump it into gold. Of course, do your research. Trust where your money is, because at the end of the day, you need to keep your money in a place where it's safe and where you can sleep peacefully at night. I can sleep like a baby because I understand the area where I've put my money in. Like, Bitcoin is a very safe network for me. No one can steal my Bitcoin from me. Mm-hmm. And there's like, I'm responsible for the entire thing. Because like you said, let's take gold versus Bitcoin. If you want to have a conversation on that. Gold versus Bitcoin. let's say I have $100 million in Bitcoin, you have $100 million in gold. We both are here today. I have to travel to maybe Europe. Now, when I'm traveling to Europe, I want to take my Bitcoin with me. It's safe, it's in my phone. I can transfer a certain amount to my phone, keep it on my phone, and I can use it as a form of currency. Like there is an application called Re.Pay. I told you about this like 4 months ago. Whatever money I make on crypto, I sell, I transfer it to Re.Pay. Re.Pay gives me a Visa card that's on my Apple Pay, and I just use it for all my transactions. So like the past couple of months of my life, I've only been living off crypto money, and it's amazing because I have full accountability of what I do, how much money I make, and then how much money I spend. Now in your case, you have $100 million worth of gold. How are you going to carry that $100 million worth of gold across to any country? Not 100 million, let's take 1 kg of gold. You think you'll be able to travel with 1 kg of gold? No. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm not saying that this is the best form of investment, but if you're someone who's purely driven on data, facts, and stats, I do agree that Bitcoin is the most volatile from all of them. That means the price can shift a lot, but the scope of growth is a lot. While you have gold, the scope of growth is a lot. The price doesn't shift as much because they regulate it. It's a very regulated thing. Like this is the entire concept of it. But there's this conversation that we both had a long time ago about gold, and you mentioned something about gold being attached to a religion.
Yeah.
And that's what got me thinking like, okay, fine, how does this work? So tell me about that. Like take us through your concept of why are you attached to gold?
Shit, you sparked that.
Yeah, because this is how we started speaking about it. Like I used to tell you about Bitcoin, you used to tell me about gold, and I told you why I never believed in gold. But when you told me what you said, it led me to a point where I understood, okay, fine, there is a use case behind it.
Right. It's about like how you told now, it's just sparked something about human psychology, right? That day we were talking about gold. So one of my friends actually introduced me to gold and the idea of it, and I was like, wow, this is fascinating. So now, in any religion, any following, there's scriptures, there's books, right? Everywhere, gold is mentioned so heavily, right? So it gets you thinking. For example, in Islam, since we are in Dubai, we are in a Muslim country. In Islam, in the Quran, it says to donate a certain amount of your wealth, like in zakat, or like during Eid, everyone gives. There was no currency such as dollar or anything as such at that time, right? It was actually in the value of gold. So it was 2.5. I may be wrong, but I remember with my memory, it was 2.5% of your annual income in gold.
Okay.
So their standard value of currency or whatever was attached to gold. And now this is a religious scripture. So you can read the book Robert Kiyosaki's, right? Rich Dad Poor Dad. He also talks about gold being God's wealth. Hindu scriptures, they talk about gold. They have gold bangles. It deposits wealth. It deposits indicates that person is of value. So since history and such a long time, it's still not lost its value. No matter how many centuries and years of the earth's been existing, gold's been strong.
Yeah.
So this makes me believe that if you invest into gold, you can never fail. It's just about how much your returns is. Skeptical, like it's not, I don't know if it's fixed, but I know that usually when I talk to people that they keep talking about deviating. Sometimes it goes lower, like they could have bought it for 2.65, then it goes to 2.8, then it comes down to 2.5. Regardless, they still make money from their initial investment. I haven't seen it dip significantly, but that's how I say, even if someone's spiritual, like you can jump into the gold as an investment and you can get like steady income, because it's literally every religious person, prophet, everyone's talking about gold. So this is never going to die, because as long as Muslims exist, they're always going to attach gold as a source of donation.
Okay.
So they will always have it in their mind, gold. So it's never going to lose its value, because again, you mentioned it's human psychology. So now that you evoke that memory, it's crazy now how people can actually be like, oh, that's actually true, that's facts. We should just go and throw whatever money you have, throw it into gold. I mean, you don't have to buy physical gold because now the stock markets are there, right? You can invest into gold, or you can literally go to the gold shop in any of these places, and for whatever money that you have 500 bucks, get 500 bucks worth of gold. You will make an increase on your investment. And that's crazy, man. Some people, whoever wants to let their money just sleep while they don't want to exchange a lot of their energy, this is an amazing way. And go sell it the next month. Sell it the next month later. You think that's a good idea?
Yeah, of course. Because like gold, the one good thing is people are like, I read this book called Psychology of Money. And what's very interesting when I read this book is to understand how each generation gets attached to a certain investment class or a certain asset class based on their upbringing and the way they are put around money. Like, for example, if I look at my parents' generation versus my generation, in my parents' generation, they were very heavily invested with gold and real estate because in their upbringing, they grew up as children not having any technology around. It's just the physical world and physical products. And they've always been told that gold, real estate is the way to go because it's an asset that you can actually hold, you can feel something. But then when it came to my upbringing, fine, I didn't have a lot of technology up until school time, and then we started getting iPhones, then we started understanding how it works. That's when the App Store started. And the first mind-blowing thing to me was, wow, you can like pay for stuff online. And when all of this started happening, I started to realize I understand the technology a lot better. I understand the space more clearly than my parents. I am more confident to make a transaction online than my parents. When my mom has to sit and make a transaction online, she would never put her card details in because she's not sure where it goes. But for me, I would just double tap Apple Pay, it's done. So I'm more open to the concept of Bitcoin. But when it comes to investing into something, it all depends on where you're comfortable. So for me, it's Bitcoin. I see Bitcoin going up to easily $125,000 by next year summer. Like 100. So like from today's price, today it's at like $58,000 to $60,000. You could double your money if you put it only in Bitcoin today. And this is what I'm speaking is not, again, it's not an exact financial advice. I don't want someone coming and chopping my head off for this, but I'm saying, don't take my word for it. Go and do research. I'll give you names to watch. Go and listen to Raoul Pal. Listen to Crypto Banter. All of these guys sit and talk about what happens in the markets, how it's going to affect everything, and where it's going to be. Because you have the presidential cycle coming up this Q4. You have November, where Donald Trump is going up against Biden's administration. Now, we don't know what's going to happen, but it's very few things to keep in mind. You need to understand that at the end of the day, we're doing this in the game of money. So you need to understand how does the debate or how does the presidential elections impact your money. Very simple. Donald Trump said, if he gets elected, interest rates go to nearly zero and they will promote Bitcoin and crypto. If this happens, because he said America needs to be the leaders in crypto. They understand this is a new digital age. America needs to be the leaders. America needs to have majority of the shares, majority of the market in crypto. Now, if this is going to happen, if Trump gets elected in November, if the central bank's interest rates go down to zero, that means more people will be borrowing money from the bank. Because let's say the bank calls me tomorrow and says, hey Anush, we're willing to give you a loan of 500,000 dirhams, but the interest rate is 0%. Would I take it? Of course I would take it. It's a risk-free money. I could take that 500,000, put it in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin would go up 20%. I could immediately sell my Bitcoin when it goes up 20%, clear out my loan, and I've made 20% on my money. Like, this is just a foolproof strategy, and I'm not speaking from my ass. Like, I'm telling you what I have done, what people have done. I'll never give facts, I'll never give names of people, but I'm telling you how this works. And this is where you need to understand, like, you need to surround yourself with the right people who makes these moves. So you feel more confident when you make it. If you're around people who don't understand Bitcoin, but you want to take a risk to invest in it, you will not be able to make that jump. But if you're surrounded with 5 people who fully understand Bitcoin, fully doing the same thing, like you said in your story, people who believe in their reality crypto works, crypto will work. People who believe in their reality that crypto doesn't work, it won't work. It's very simple because it's like another person living without digital age. It's like how albinos are. Right. They just live without the digital age. They don't really care about any of this. Like the Amish people, sorry, not albinos, the Amish people. They don't have any technology. How do they live? So it's all just man-made. But you understand, like, I'm not trying to preach over here. I'm not even a preacher. All I'm trying to say is, it's a game. You need to understand the depth of the game, and you need to understand how do you position yourself when the game is played. When the flow of money starts from November onwards, when money starts flowing into the markets, are you well positioned right now? And a lot of people's question on our page were, let's say you're starting from zero right now, how would you do it? So you give me your side if you're starting from zero.
I have one question before that.
Okay.
You mentioned all about crypto, right? And for example, there's always people around, like there could be a scenario where they think, what if crypto just fails? Like there was a 2008 recession, right? Now, for example, let's take crypto fails and you've put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do? Like, what's the next, what's your opinion on this?
So my opinion is you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, you should understand time cycles. I have not bought Bitcoin because I'm gonna keep it in Bitcoin for the next 10 years. I understand what my investment portfolio is. I understand how quickly do I want to make money. I'm gonna keep my money in Bitcoin maybe for the next 1 more year and then get out of the market, because every single investment or every single asset class has its own life cycle. So the importance of understanding life cycles are, either if you want, what wealthy people do is wealthy people buy Bitcoin to store value. They don't buy Bitcoin to sell it when it goes up and then make money. It's like in the ancient times, people buying art. You see in palaces, you have art that's valued at $4-5 million. Maybe it's used for money laundering, whoever knows. But that art is valued at $4-5 million and it's kept along the way. So wealthy people buy Bitcoin because they don't want to sell. But the other class of people are buying it because they want to flip money, invest. Fair enough. Like, there are always two sides of a coin. Like, if there are some people who never want to sell, I'm a guy that wants to sell because I want to take my profits. I want to go put it into a different investment class because there will be another opportunity. The easiest form that I've seen for myself is investing in yourself. Like, the one thing that I did about crypto is I invested my time into learning what it is and watching the right people. Listening to people say the right things with data. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has data from start to finish. It's a ledger that has every single transaction there. People have done weird stuff by creating graphs, pie charts, understanding where money is moving from one place to another. When you have all this data put out in front of you, it's so easy to look at it and go like, okay, I understand what's going to happen. And it's clearly like a no-brainer once you understand what's going to happen. When you're in Bitcoin, this is the best period I would say to anyone. You have this summer, you have Bitcoin's price. It's shown us already. Bitcoin's price has gone to 74,000. Now it's come back down to 56. At 74,000, I've met people who said, I want to get into it. Now when it's come down to 56, people are saying I'm scared. So it questions like, you were willing to buy when it was at the highest, but when it's come down at a discount, it's dropped 20% in value. You don't want to buy it when it's dropped 20%. That means if you put 100,000 in Bitcoin today, it goes back up to the $74,000 per coin value. You've already made 20% on your money. Like, it's all simple mathematics, and like, of course there's risk taken to it, but if you understand risks, then why not?
It becomes more safer option, right?
Exactly.
Even this Nvidia stocks, I remember I was reading about it because you guys are always speaking about it. I just go out and just research about Nvidia. Wasn't there something about everyone talking shit about Nvidia, like the charts, and then suddenly when it spiked up, everyone's like, shit, we should have invested?
Because see, I'll tell you how this works. The trading industry and the trading game works based on people speculating what the price will be in the future. So let's say right now, I start a company called Nvidia. I issue 1 million shares at $1 each, and I put it out to the public. So if people start buying my shares at $1 per share, my company is valued at 1 million, because $1 into 1 million shares. Now a guy like you comes to the stock market and buys one share for $4. My company valuation goes up to $4 into 1 million. It becomes $4 million. But the actual concept of the business doesn't change. So trading and investing has nothing to do with the business operations. So when Nvidia started, they just became a company that manufactures chips, which is known as GPUs, processors. It basically processes for laptops, graphic cards, gaming. They basically take control of the entire industry, and they're huge. But the place where they spiked up is when they launched not they launched, when OpenAI launched ChatGPT in November 2022, if I'm not wrong. When ChatGPT was launched, they understood that to run AI models, you need graphic cards. You need graphic cards to render, to prompt, you need graphic cards to run the software. So when that happens, people started buying more graphic cards. People started buying more miners, because in a Bitcoin miner, you use graphic cards to run the program. So you need a fast graphic card. So you have Nvidia that is manufacturing all of this, and they're the biggest company in the world to manufacture GPU chips. Now the thing with me is I don't know much about the details of what they do and how it's done. I don't understand the technology that well, but it made me understand that that is where the future is going to be, because everything is moving crypto, everything's moving in AI, everything's moving towards tech companies who specialize in these things. So when it comes to all of this, for me, it's a no-brainer. Like in the stock market, I don't really dip my fingers in right now because I see a better opportunity in Bitcoin.
Right.
But once the cycle is over, 100%, I will move my Bitcoin wealth into another asset class. Maybe
You have any plans?
I'm thinking of looking to acquire companies. That's my goal.
Speak more on that.
Because I want to acquire,
Interesting.
like the
Tell us about what's the profit that you can make. Why you think acquiring companies is easy and one of the best ways to make money too? Because you simplified it for me very easily how to acquire companies.
So, I mean, on the podcast next time we'll get a guest who can speak to us properly in this, someone who
Right.
has the best experience, and that's going to be a conversation to change people's minds, see how to view the world. But acquiring companies is actually one of the best ways if you understand what you want to do. For example, let's say I want to run an Amazon FBA business and I have the experience. I'm a traditional investor. I have the experience of running a company where I have to manage stocks, I have to manage relationship with suppliers, I have to handle logistics. If I see an Amazon FBA company doing really well, now then again, to find companies like this, you need to go on a platform. I'm not going to mention a platform because everything's in a pipeline. There's going to be a time to release what the platform is and everything. But you go to a platform where you can find companies that are listed for sale. They show how much net profit they make, they show the revenue, all the details are there. From here, you're able to take that information, go and decide, is this a good investment to make? So roughly, to give you an example, if you were to buy a company worth $100,000 today, that's a digital company, an e-commerce company, the rough multiple is 25 to 30x as a monthly multiple of your net profit. So let's say you make 3,000. If you buy a company worth $100,000, approximately you will make $3,000 to $3,500 per month in net profit. And I'm talking about this to only look at it from a mathematical standpoint. So if I lock in $100,000 today, I will make my $100,000 back within 2.5 years, and I have a company valued at maybe 100 or 150,000. So it's just a pure win-win. So these are different investment opportunities. I'm looking personally into acquiring companies because my goal is to have a basket of companies that do certain things within certain industries that complement each other. And the overall goal, I'm not going to mention it right now, but the overall goal is to eventually have the right companies that I can use to my benefit, to our community benefit, because at the end of the day, this podcast is going to be a platform where we have a lot of people from different industries, different communities, and we all leverage each other's information, each other's contacts, each other's networks to grow ourselves. So when that happens, everyone will know exactly why acquiring companies is the best way. And the platform that's going to come out, it's not yet out, it's going to come out. The platform that's going to come out is going to simplify this process so easily for people that when they decide to buy a company, this is the best place to do it. These are the right people to do it because I trust these people. So that's going to be coming out very soon. So
Amazing. I wish you the best for that.
that's going to be a journey, man.
Yeah.
On the next one, we'll get the guest, the special guest.
100%. But even in terms of like the risk that people have to take, when you mention it's a risk, doesn't it seem like a safer option now to put their money in crypto rather than the banks?
In today's time, I would say it's safer to keep money in Bitcoin rather than the bank, because you keep $100,000 today in your Emirates NBD account, and you keep $100,000 in your Bitcoin wallet, or you buy Bitcoin with it. Next year, same time, your 100,000 in Emirates NBD will be 100,000. Next year, same time, your Bitcoin will be
Simple terms.
200,000. This is the
Crazy.
easiest way to dumb it down to
Crazy.
anybody.
Great.
To
Why do you think people aren't taking that approach from your experience?
Because of two things. The media has shafted Bitcoin for the past 4 years, where they call it a scam. Like, for people to be able to sit and say, Bitcoin, what if crypto goes to zero? It's like me questioning, what if real estate goes to zero? Like, the only way people are saying Bitcoin will go to zero is because someone has gone out on media saying it. And you need to correlate all of this. This is why I tell people, the first place you want to do, I'll tell you the steps. You want to get into crypto, you need to do this. You make an account on X. You follow specific accounts on X that talk about crypto only. You follow Raoul Paul. You follow Henrik Zedberg is his name. You follow Crypto Banter. Just follow Andrew Tate as well, because he's getting into the entire crypto space. And follow Watcher Guru, if I'm not wrong, because they are the best, and Bitcoin Magazine. These are one of the biggest who talk about what's happening in the industry. When you understand what's happening in the industry through X, you know that it's actually not a scam. It's one of the most secure bubbles that is ever there, because everything around us is a bubble. A lot of people come and tell me, oh, what if that bubble bursts? What if real estate bubble burst? Real estate bubble bursted in 2008. But what happened? The price just tripled.
Right.
Because everything is against US dollar. If you value something against US dollar, the US dollar goes down in value. That means you need to keep your wealth in a certain place where it's only growing up. So my question to a lot of people is, it's not my question, it's people's question to us. How the hell do you start off? Let's say you have no money. You're someone.
I have a question on this, because you've explained all of this in a very advanced format.
Okay. You want me to dumb it down?
Not dumb it down because people wouldn't understand it, because I've been engaging with the youth now. There's a lot of younger people. My brother's young, he's like 19, 20. And yesterday I was sitting with his friends, right? And these guys are going through the same pattern of like university, masters, etc. No one's really giving them guidance. Our parents aren't doing a great job in giving them guidance.
Correct.
Because they're always fearful about if everything bursts, the job or like the masters or the qualifications you have is what's going to get you ahead in life. But personally, it's possible, but for myself, I don't think that holds much of value apart from a piece of paper. We went and did our masters and everything and just have a piece of paper. We never collected that paper. Today we got the emails that come collect your certificate, but we don't really care. So being a 19-year-old who's in university, if they learn how to make 100K per year, or per month, it's amazing for them to let go of everything, be with the right people, form a new community of people who are like engaged into being the best versions of themselves, get more money, have a better life, because they're all talking about being broke. They don't have money to cover their petrol expenses. Like, what would your suggestion be for someone who's starting off in the most safest way to invest their money?
To invest their money, if you have
make money.
Okay, because see, to invest money,
like we told,
yeah,
make money, invest money, and give money.
So let's go through the process very easily. You start off with making money. Now, how can you make money? You need to understand that your time is equivalent to how much money you make. So to understand how much money you can make, you need to decide, where do I go and make this money from? You have two options. One, you go get a job. It's not a bad thing to go get a job, because when you get a job, you're trading your time to a company in exchange for a certain value that you get back in monetary value. So you can either go get a job. When you get a job, whatever money you make sure whatever money you make, you're investing it in yourself. That is in two aspects that I'll always suggest to somebody. Invest it in a good gym where you can build your network. The second thing is invest it into a skill that you can learn. For example, I'm going to honestly say, look at the real world. What Andrew Tate and his team have built. It is the most secure platform and the most wealthiest group of youngest entrepreneurs that you could find possibly out there.
You mentioned, right, in those people who were supposed to look into the crypto field.
Yes.
He's been helping the people around him make money.
Correct.
We've signed up your younger brother to go and learn how to make money from Hustlers University, right? So it's not like we're dick riding him, but we understand this guy's protecting his ecosystem.
Yeah.
Even in crypto field, what is that? Daddy Coin?
Yeah.
So they helped the person who created Daddy Coin.
Yeah.
And they've helped a group of people who have invested. We literally made money out of it, and we went and spent that having a good time, right? So we legit have proof that we made money through his support.
Correct.
So he is someone like Elon Musk, Donald Trump. These are people who are like trying to make the society of the world a
Yeah.
better place. They might have their negatives, but focus on, like, we're talking about wealth right now.
Correct.
Focus on to the good aspects and grab what you can and take that. So
Yeah, so
as you were
I would say,
saying-
like, people, what you have to do is you have to go learn a skill. Now, in today's time, it's not very difficult to learn a skill, because in the past, let's say before social media, before all of this came into existence, how would people making money? You have to physically go and meet somebody else and talk to someone, get to know who they are, understand what they do, then you do a deal with them. In today's time, you have social media to reach across a person sitting in California, so someone sitting in LA. You're just one message away. So first thing, you sharpen the way you speak, the way you perceive yourself to people. Then you go and learn a skill that you want to learn. For example, I'll give you a couple of skills that people can learn easily and make money. YouTube automation and viral videos. Because for you to make money, someone has to consume what you produce. So you pick a target, you pick an industry or a niche industry where there are so many consumers, content. YouTube shorts and TikTok content and Instagram reels. This is unlimited. People just keep watching what you scroll on. Now, if you see recently, you have these videos of these streamers, but then you have a GTA clip underneath, and it just catches on people's mind. But YouTube and TikTok pay you to get views. The more views you get paid for it. Okay, you don't get paid a significant amount, but that's your starting point from where you can understand how to make money. That is one. What we did when we started off, we wanted to realize, okay, how do we make money? We started our digital marketing agency. Now, in the start, we didn't have any guidance. We didn't know where we are going from head to toe. But then along the way, once we jumped into that, we took the risk. We understood what we're good at. We're good at selling something to somebody else. That means it's not that we would sell something just for the sake of it. We solely believe in the service that we provide. We understand how much value we can bring to a company. This is why we are who we are. The reason why we're able to attract clients, the reason why people are reaching out to us for us to handle their digital marketing is because of the kind of quality of work we do. Because number one is we're not a marketing agency that goes out there and like just says, okay, we'll do work for you and it's done. We engage with the brand. We engage with the customer. We sit and ask the customer, okay, fine, how do we grow your business? Because that's what we're here for. We're not here to do admin work. So to someone starting off in their entire career right now, go learn a skill. The easiest skill that you can go and learn is go and scroll on social media and just see how do you make money online. Just go and type it and find the right mentor. Whichever field you decide to do it in, this is a couple of gems that I could throw at people that I have learned from, and I've made mistakes and now I'm telling you again. If you figure out which industry you want to create a drop shipping store.
Not mistakes, learning experience.
Learnings. There's no mistakes. There's no mistakes. It's all learning
Good catch.
experience.
Yeah. Continue. Sorry.
So if you have these learning experience, whichever industry you decide to go into, find a mentor in that industry. Because when you find a mentor in that industry, when you come across a hurdle, you will be able to find out the easiest and best possible solution with someone giving you affirmation on it. So you decide to do drop shipping. Okay, go and find who's the best drop shipping guru that's available out there online. How much is their course gonna take? What do you get out of the course? Couple of things to find out is when you sign up for a course, are you getting one-on-one treatment with the person? If you're not getting one-on-one treatment, leave it. Because when you sign up for something, do not treat it like a school. Treat it as you are there to make money. When you're sitting one-on-one with somebody else, you both value each other's time and you guys make money together. He teaches you how to make money. But when you sit on a call with 40 other people, you're conscious about what you say. You're conscious about what people think about you. You don't want to really talk openly in front of others. You don't want to showcase your project to other people. So find someone to do this one-on-one mentoring with. Now, when you figure out how to make money, then you need to take your money and invest it in some place. Invest it either back in yourself, invest it into another business model, or take it and invest it in mutual funds, stocks, gold, Bitcoin. We've already discovered like what's the best investment, but these are the places where I would say the flowchart works as follows. You start off with a skill, you learn how to make money. Then you get paid for what you do. Once you get paid for what you do, you start automating it. You build a team that has an automated process to follow so that you make money when you sleep. When you start making money when you sleep, the only thing you have to do with your time is multiply wealth. To multiply wealth in today's time, it's very easy. if you are connected with the right people and you have money with you, you can easily multiply wealth. You can go do deals, you can go acquire companies, buy cash flowing businesses. So at the end of it, you just have to think, once you've made money, okay, how do I multiply this money? Because if it's taken me 1 month to make $100,000, with that $100,000, can I put it in a place where it can turn into 200,000 within 30 days again? So you go and find that place. This is where we speak about money flow. Go and find the industry that everything is there in. And that's why I'm telling you, with all of this, the easiest platform that someone can use to go and learn a skill, be good, network with people. Number one thing, if someone wants to learn something, do like reach out to us. We're open to always like help out people. We're open to guiding people in the right direction, whatever we know. If we don't know something, we will have a network of people who will be able to guide you in the right way. True. But this is based on what we know at the end of the day. Like 99% of people wouldn't agree with us, 1% might agree. I'm happy to help even 1%. At the end of the day, I told you, this whole thing is not about the money. It's about being able to help at least one person during this journey.
And that's what people are reaching out to us. They're finding out they're getting value, they're getting help out of this. You forgot to mention the third thing, giving back.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's the most important. When you give back, you get back, right? That is so true. These sayings don't come out of people's ass. This has been passed on for years and years and years. When you're stingy with your money, when you're hugging your money and sleeping every day, trust me, that money just goes out of your hand. We've seen this happen with a lot of people. So giving money, I feel in my opinion is, it can be in so many various formats, where you've taught me this is like just chilling with your friends, giving back to your friends, because you automatically increase everyone's vibration and frequency. You're teaching us a very good quality of like giving back to your people. And you used to always, you know, when you started making money, you were like, come, let's go out, let's go enjoy the fanciest place. You would always tell me like, if I'm enjoying it, I want the people around me to also enjoy. Now look, our whole group or our whole ecosystem has just developed and everyone's enjoying it, because we kept making that money back. It was not like once we spent it, we're like, shit, we lost our money. Usually what happens is, because people get a fixed amount of salary, for example, which we went through the pattern for a very long time, they believe that that's the only amount that they're restricted to, but they don't believe that there are opportunities or illogical ways where they can make this money back. So giving back, that's now about friends. Now just even from my story, right? Like I've had these experiences where I used to have a salary job and stuff. I used to go to my workplace, and then there used to be this parking lot. There were these bunch of guys who were cleaning the cars, right? Cool. I would be dead broke at that time. I had like maybe $10, $5. And I would always see these guys ready to wash my car. But I was like, you know what, honestly, it's so hot. It's like crazy hot. You guys just chill out. That $10 was the last amount of money I had for the rest of the month. But it doesn't mean that I didn't have shelter, food, or like any other resource to keep myself happy. I was staying with my family at that point. I was happily fed, and I had like now required necessities covered one way or the other. I would just go and give that $10 to these guys, tell them don't wash my car. And trust me, man, that would make me feel good, them feel good, and I would always get that money back. Like I used to feel good and make more money out there. You need to understand this world is an illusion, right? When you do good stuff for yourself, like how you told, when you believe in a reality where crypto works, your brain starts producing this illusion in front of you where crypto always works. Yeah. We could be right beside someone else who believes that crypto doesn't work, and they would tell you all about the negative situation that happened in their life that made them jump out of crypto. My family, for instance, my dad's gone and invested, but you know, they haven't seen a possible outcome. They got fearful and they dipped. Yeah. But this is what you tell is psychology. When you kept investing into it, there were those lower times. And then when you were patient, which is the most important virtue, is patience is key. Yeah, 100%. So then you start seeing an illusion because you're resilient towards that goal that you don't believe and you don't care about anything. Your brain is confused. Your subconscious is confused to produce this illusion that crypto wins it all the time, or whatever you choose to believe in, it will win all the time.
Because like you said, the last part in this entire flow of making money, like you start off with understanding how to make it, then you find out a way to invest it, you find out a way to multiply it, and the last part is giving back. Like this is one of the most best advice that I've ever got from someone is, you get back tenfold of what you give. I always thought to myself like, okay, if I give someone 10 dirhams, I get back 100, but it's not actually in physical cash. It's more of like in golden opportunities in life, right? Like, and I've seen this with my own eyes. Like I've lived the past couple of months, or at least over the course of the past year, where I enjoy giving back to people. I like giving back to people because these are the people that's helped me come a long way. Like, our group.
Right.
And a lot of other people that have significantly taken my life in a upward trajectory, I always want to give back to them. It's not from a place of cockiness, it's not from a place of boasting about money, it's not from anything. It's just from a good gesture of always giving back money to people. And I don't give in physical money. I prefer doing it in life experiences where
Right.
we go out and enjoy a certain experience,
Right.
a big setting where a lot of people are there. Everyone has a good experience. This is something I've always done for the past years for myself, is my birthdays. I never treat it as a big day because I always think of it like, okay, fine, it's just another day for me. But we've been hardwired to understand that, oh, it's a significant day for you. So I was like, you know what, if it is going to be a significant day for me, it's a game. And I'm going to make sure that this is just something that was always there within my heart. I would always make sure that on that day is I would do something to make sure it's a big event. And
Right.
I don't know what it was, but it was just something that was always stuck with me from the past. And this is what it means, giving back to people. Don't expect tenfold, but
Right.
when it comes, be grateful to it, have gratitude towards it.
Not to have a transactional relationship with people
Yeah.
financially, but you know that for a fact when you do something good, and if they're a deserving person, that you would do it. You know you would do it for someone who's deserving, and
Correct.
you would always get it back. It doesn't have to necessarily be from that person. That's where expectations come in,
Yeah.
right? You're like, man, I did so much for this person, but he didn't do it back for me. That's when you did it expecting something. That's not you doing it from a kind gesture.
Correct.
That's doing expecting something, so it's transactional now. Do it out of your heart, out of unconditional love, and that's what I always say. You don't need to get it back in physical money. Like the amount of times I basically live my life
Yeah.
pure kindness. You know it, people around me know it, that I don't need money to survive. I can go a whole year without money
Yeah,
to survive. You know those YouTube videos and stuff where people go into different countries and survive on the kindness of
Yeah.
people? They only get their kindness because they have kindness in them.
Correct. That's what I always say. And also big thing is we always preach positive mindset. I'm the most optimistic guy
Oof.
anyone could meet when it comes to any investment or money making opportunity. Maybe in life I am optimistic in life. I don't think I'm not. I'm very optimistic in every aspect of my life. But if someone came to me with a money making opportunity, I've never turned it down. I've never said no. In fact, I've gone over and beyond to find the easiest way for them to do it, because that's how easy this game, the way that it's played, it's not very difficult. You just have to make a few steps, position yourself well, and everything flows in place.
Right. We need to post a story. I was going to mention about, you mentioned about giving back to the people on how, I forgot. This one we can...
Giving back to the people, how do you want to do that?
Not give back. There was a story that I wanted to... the tenfolds. You mentioned about the tenfolds. You get back money tenfold.
Yes.
Brother, I have proof. I have proof you can get financial money once you spend it in tenfolds. Remember, I used to tell you guys that I have this, when you affirm yourself 100% that you can get money back in tenfolds, you will actually get money back in tenfolds. Maybe not all the time, but I've got this proof. Remember that I paid for a restaurant bill at one time?
Yeah.
And I just told myself, let me see what this thing is everyone talks about. I paid it. I told, this money that I pay, I get back in tenfold. Trust me, bro, I got an order that next minute. That's the good thing about God or the universe, right? He gives you back better than what you planned. I told 10 times more, so the bill was 440. I got an order of 4,500 dirhams. I have the proof. We have to post that on story to
That's
show
good,
people
that's
that
good.
it
But
works out.
More than that, the thing is, you operate in a certain way, because when you paid for that 440 bill and you get an order for 4,500, you have subconsciously wired your mind to believe that this is the universe giving back to me, so you're grateful. So your emotions that you showcase are gratitude and excitement, because what you believed in comes to life and you've connected dots in your mind. But how do you help someone try to be grateful towards an opportunity that comes in? Because I've met a lot of people who have opportunities come to them, but they always think from a perspective, it's too good to be true. What if there's red flags? But what if they don't keep that perspective and it's positive? How does a person take a tenfold opportunity and see it in a positive way rather than looking at it as a risk?
Right. You're asking me, huh?
I'm asking you, because you said you got an opportunity that came back in tenfold. Now you identified it as an opportunity.
Yeah, okay. that's the thing where I'm grateful, right? Like, see, it came immediately for me. Like in the next couple hours, I got the order, which shocked me. I was like, bro, I just made that thing in my head. I kept saying it. I was like, I'll keep getting it tenfolds, tenfolds. People will be like, oh, this is voodoo shit, right? But it didn't hurt me to say it. And it didn't hurt me when I made that $4,500 either.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt me. So now the thing is, I would say people, what hurts you from pushing forward, if the deal is not supposed to work out and if it's going to affect you, it'll stop where it has to stop.
Correct.
Don't stop it by assessing all the risk opportunities that are there before even attempting it. You know about the deals that you're doing and how much I myself and people around you would like throw these situations at you. It's good that we're throwing these negative situations at you so you can assess it and go around it. But you were resilient. You were still like, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. And now the deals are getting close because you chose to get to that point where you're like, you know what? I don't care. If it has to stop, where it has to stop, it will stop. This is how all the situations in our life will always be. When you truly believe in like God or a higher power or universe, they will stop it when it has to stop. But this is that, and then people will say, yeah, but you wasted your time. Did you not learn in the process how to talk, how to be confident in this approach? And you learn the flow of like at least $1 million to $4 million moving.
Yeah.
Bro, that's more experience than any other people in the world.
Yeah, because you have to think from a side which is only when you speak about a lot of money, that's when you start getting numb towards that feeling.
Yep.
There's a reason why billionaires and all, when you tell them, it costs like 10, 20 dirhams, they don't care about it. It's not because they don't care about money. It's because they're so numb to the fact that they only hear millions and billions, that when it comes to thousands, then they don't like, then you're numb to it. So like from my side, what I would always tell people is like, be grateful to every situation that comes to you. Take it as a learning opportunity. Take it with a positive mindset because you learn out of it. You learn a lot and you can use it as an opportunity to connect with a lot of people.
True.
Like it's so easy like to get this done, like to connect with people. You just need, because if you're in the game to make money and you connect with another person to make money with them, you need to understand that they know the game as well.
How many people were you connected with when you went for that one deal? You know the deal that I'm talking about. Obviously, we won't but how many people were you connected with, and what was that experience?
I would
Life was a movie, and that's the only way we chose to live it.
Yeah, so I would say to get that deal closed, I went through at least 6 people. And along this process, let me tell you.
What industries were they in? This is a fascinating interesting part,
to close a deal that I had to do, the industries that I had to go through and the industries that I got exposed to was number 1, real estate, number 2, watches, number 3, loading arms, chemical products, import and export. Yeah.
Crazy.
So, and I'm not saying that I went and we closed like $1 billion, this and that, but all I'm trying to say is to close a deal, I got exposed to 6 different industries where I have 6 different connects, that if I can pick up the phone and call them and tell them I need something within this industry, it might not be done on the spot, but I might have a reliable source to get information on. And that's what this deal showed me, like use it in a positive way to connect with people, and connecting with people was the easiest way that I could get my work done. Like I've always aspired to be a guy that connects people, cuts deals, gets things done.
You open portals, right?
Yeah.
This is what I told in today's post. You have to, like no one, sometimes people see these posts and they shy away from it. Seek that knowledge, and then the next opportunity or portal opens. You inquiring knowledge from us, puts it in your subconscious, knowledge has been gained, illusion forms or a portal opens for you to go and seek more information.
Correct.
For example, very simple. You go on Google, you type YouTube automation or YouTube shorts. Now go back to Meta, Instagram. You're just going to see all about YouTube. Your TikTok is going to be filled with YouTube shorts. That's called the portal opening. That's your reality coming into play, where the opportunities start opening. So that's why I keep telling people, whatever you're interested in, making money, go and type on Google how to make money, and then constantly venture out thinking about how to make money. It's easy. You will make money, and now go for it. You will get that opportunity. But don't be impatient when you don't make the money. You're like, shit bro, I'm not making that money. This is the journey though.
Correct.
You have to learn first before, like how everyone says, when we were like maybe a year ago, we kept always asking each other, when you get $1 million, what would you do? When you get $1 million, what would you do? and we would give the most stupidest, like, delusional response, which was nice, which was good, like, to understand where our mindset was, to give back to people, enjoy ourselves, buy a Lambo, buy a Maybach, whatever it is. But now, if I ask you the same question, what would you do with $1 million?
Actually,
What
would I do with $1 million right now? With $1 million, the first thing I would do is I would go and buy stuff for, of course, my family and close friends around. And then after that, I would just look to buy a cash flowing business. It's very simple. Like, I would park my money in a place which makes me money when I sleep. Like, this is why I say network is very important. I got in touch with a person who is a managing director at a hedge fund. I'm not going to say the name of them. What they basically told me is, Anush, if you park $1 million with us, we will give you 36% interest every year. That means if I keep $1 million with them, they would give me $360,000 every single year in terms of monthly payout. That would be roughly $3,000 a month for locking in $1 million with them. But then again, like, I don't know head to tail about this. I told them I'll come meet them in person. We'll see, because I don't do any money deals unless I meet someone in person or I know people on either side. Because money has to be safe where I sleep. So the main thing that I would do is focus on multiplying my money. Like, and multiply it by investing it and buying another company that's going to give me cash flow. Because cash is key.
Right.
There's no point of me having money in the bank. Me seeing $1 million in my bank gives me no benefit at all. Seeing that in the past, we've seen it before.
Right.
We've physically seen it happen, and it didn't change how our day went.
Right.
But being able to use it for a better use to improve our quality of life, improve things around us, improve the way we perceive ourselves, the way we position, go out, have a nice dinner, when you go out to eat a good meal, like I'm not saying it's like so easy, but I'm saying be more grateful towards the opportunity when it comes to you. So with the $1 million, I would invest it. What about you?
Same. But like, first thing I would do is go and get my, how much is a Maybach? Do I spend all my money on the Maybach? But yeah, the same concept, bro. Like, when we started off, I would say like, I would give this. Bro, honestly, when you have $1 million and you think giving this money would significantly help people with a lack mindset,
Of course.
it never helps anyone. So throwing money at people wouldn't be my right approach. I would take them out to nice, beautiful experience to let them know that there's abundant flow of money so they can just enjoy themselves rather than throwing that money at them. So obviously I would take care of my family and everyone and my friends. Like, for us, we understand the concept of money. We don't need to physically give each other money in order to feel good. We just know that we just need to elevate each other's life by providing a better quality of life. So that, and then invest it again. And I don't have to worry about investment as long as you're there. I just have to keep throwing my money at you and you just take care of this thing. So this is what I say, like, you have to form a good form of friends and a brotherhood. Like, each of us have a special talent and skill set rather than being individual. Individuality is about developing your self concepts and self beliefs, but also building a brotherhood is what helps you. So I don't really have to worry so much about money because there are people that I can trust around me who rotate my money and take care of my money, and I can just chill.
I think what I would, one thing that I would say is that if someone's looking to grow their portfolio or invest certain money in crypto, do reach out to us. Tell us how much money you have. Tell us how much money you're looking to invest. What we are going to give you is not financial advice, but we can give you our perspective and our opinion.
Yeah.
And you can take our opinion, our perspective, and go and do research on it.
Yeah.
See whether it matches something that you're looking at. If you come and tell me, Anush, I have $10,000 and I want to invest it in crypto, I will make a suitable portfolio for you to reach a suitable amount.
You've done this, right?
I've done this. I do this for people.
How many people have you done this for in the past couple months?
I told you, eventually in the past, I always thought like I would want to start my own wealth management company where I manage people's wealth. And I am doing it right now. But we don't have a company or so because these are like personal relationships that I maintain with people. I don't have to create a website, an app, make something complicated, do legal documents. All that is okay. But what we've done is we've grown our client base from, I started off in Jan with 1 client to now we're sitting at 8 clients.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is basically only with word of mouth. I have no marketing done. I have nothing. I have no intention to market it because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who has a perspective of life that shares my perspective. If it matches and aligns with somebody else, they trust me well enough. They tell me to do the deal for them, get them some Bitcoin. They have their Bitcoin with them, and then we will make it work from there. So this is the easiest way that I would
Clean
put
way.
it.
And that's why people around us, community is growing.
Yeah.
We've seen in the past 2 weeks we started the page, it's just growing.
Yeah.
That means there's some value that we're providing that people really find interest in, and our pure intentions were not to make money or gain
Yeah.
awareness. If we could help a single person, we were happy.
It's only about helping people. Like, I'm not
100%,
here.
yeah.
I want to like emphasize this a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sitting over here with the intention to make money. I'm not
Yeah.
sitting over here with the intention to be famous. I'm not sitting over here with the intention of getting money out of anything related to this podcast. The
Yeah.
only thing that I'm here for, that I've always wanted to do from day one, is be able to grow myself to a point where I can help somebody else.
And we enjoy it, right?
And
It gives you that
yeah.
feeling of ecstatic euphoria, like yes,
It's an
we can help
ecstasy
it.
feeling that you get when you
Yeah.
help somebody else.
Yeah.
Like seeing them do something, because I always believe that there are people who've helped me out in life, and they helped me because I had my certain blank mindset on things. So when I have to help someone, I would love it if they had a blank mind, because they can think more than me.
Yeah.
And I always believe that student surpasses the master. If someone comes to me and says, "Hey Anush, can I do anything for you? Like, is there any work that I could do for your company? Is there anything that I could do?" I would find a way to give him something to make something work.
Right.
Because when you give a person an opportunity, you kind of really see whether it's make it or break it.
Right.
Whether they take it, flip it, multiply it.
A crazy idea just came, not a crazy idea, thought came into my mind right now. Crypto is decentralized. Everyone's like, it's not reliable. How many governments are tapped into crypto first? How many governments truly believe in crypto and they're secretly investing into it, apart from the US government? Because people believe that governments are not tapped into it, so it'll never be a currency. Second, which is how many banks are using the crypto software at the moment? Because you've taught me
Yeah.
this, you would be the best person to tell it. I think these 2 points would convince the people about how
Yeah.
crypto
So
is
I
actually.
think what people need to go and research is the countries that own it is a lot of European countries: El Salvador, Ecuador, Venezuela, Argentina, USA, China, Hong Kong, Japan. A lot of these Asian countries, Singapore, everyone owns crypto. Everyone owns Bitcoin. Don't look at it as crypto. Everyone owns Bitcoin. The best way to explain it is Bitcoin is compared to digital gold, and the other cryptos such as Ethereum is compared to gas. In the real world, for me to move from one place to another, I need gas in my car to move around. Same thing. On the crypto network, if I have to move one document from me to you, I have to pay something called as a gas fee. So you pay Ethereum. So these all will cover like in the next
one.
things. Like the thing is,
I know.
I have a lot of information, I have a lot of knowledge, but I want to know what people want to hear.
True.
And it's always better for me to sit across a table from someone, speak to them about it when they're deeply interested.
Right.
So as of today, I think this is a
Cool,
pretty
yeah.
decent
It's
one.
been an
right?
amazing
It's
one.
Amazing one.
Good. We tapped into well frequency, started a podcast. Today we're gonna upload it, or maybe tomorrow. Let's end it here.
Yeah,
Have a great day,
wrap it up.
guys.
Amazing.
Peace.